and all the rest of the channels just going out to. So this is my morning reflection video, but I'm doing it live today. So every single day I wake up and I normally have a cup of tea, which I did do about just 15 minutes ago, thoughts, because it helps my mental fitness, which is really, really powerful. So in this morning's talk, I just want to go through the system of the self-reflection or reflection method, as I call it. It's very easy, it's very quick, good for your mental well-being. So like I'm sitting down now in this hotel and I'm reflecting. This is my first video of the day to you, and I'm reflecting upon my thoughts. I'm looking out the window and I see Eastbourne Pier, I see the sea. I'm in a moment of peace and I think to myself, what did I do yesterday? I'm pretty proud of myself because I helped my friend out who was having some mental fitness problems, mental health as some of you would call it, and I was there for him and for me because I totally believe in helping others, because that's my day trade, as it were. But the power to change your mindset by reflecting on your thoughts is just so powerful. So, and it's just not to spend more time with our thoughts. And there is an old cliche, some people think that when you keep busy you're going to be safe in your mental fitness, which is a really big mistake. So you need to make regular time with yourself. Each room you can. Okay, I'm alone here in this hotel, there's nobody around, there's people at reception, but I think I'm comfortable. So in that moment we can meditate, we can close our eyes, or we can just think naturally, and whatever good things that are in our brain will be in our brain, and we reflect upon that. So when we look at stress and anxiety, one of the fundamental problems we have is that we are not challenging to see and find out, like a private, find out where that stress and anxiety is coming from. So when you go to counselling and you sit down with your counsellor or psychiatrist, they will ask you probing questions and they will try to pinpoint to get you to self-realise where your stress and anxiety, or maybe you want to open up about your trauma is coming from. Now, I've lived with trauma for many years. My childhood was very bad, and I've had to reflect upon my thoughts and my memories, because that was the only really strong way of my demons, and saying to myself, I'm not a victim no more. It wasn't my fault I was sexually abused. So I had to go through that process, and I've mastered that myself. And I'll be totally honest with you, it has really saved my life. The number one teaching tool that I can give to anybody in this world: reflect upon your thoughts. It's better than medication in terms of antidepressants. I mean, doctors and psychiatrists might argue with me on that, but I'm lived proof experience that somebody that's gone through and lives with a very complex called non-epileptic attack disorder, and it's very closely related to PTSD, and it's very difficult to manage. I only had one seizure 3 months ago, and it scared me because I thought my mental fitness was good, and it just crept up behind me. Sometimes in life we think that we're okay, but we're not. So learning to reflect upon your thoughts is so important. And just pick anywhere. I mean, I'm on a table at the moment. I said I'm in a quiet place, relatively quiet, and I'm speaking to you because I know that I feel safe. And we're in a moment of comfortableness, and we've not got, I know some of you have got kids and it's very difficult. Some of you that are managing companies and you're an executive director, okay, you've got a lot of responsibility, there's so much pressure on you. I understand, I haven't managed a big company yet, but we're all human. We can't keep working and working and working, and then it just happens. We explode. It's either anger, panic attacks, or worst case scenario, our bodily functions give up, and that's when you have physical, more severe. You can't even have a stroke, a heart attack, and stuff like that. So we need to really take this seriously, and because we're just not born into a world where mental fitness or mental health is trained in schools and colleges. So learning to reflect upon your thoughts is so important. It is the first part of the wider emotional intelligence spectrum. Okay, now I would define emotional intelligence as your ability to recognize your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of yourself and that of others. Now, I know Daniel Goleman's definition goes a lot more wider, but in my experience, when you cut it down a little bit more and you live in a real world, rather than psychological terms that we use today I think are too complex. So, use the first part first, which is reflect upon your thoughts. Sit down in a chair, which is the best method, or go for a walk, because the science says when we go for a walk, our brain to a point of self-realization, and we don't always know how our brains work. We've been studying the human brain for many, many years, and certainly with my complex condition, there is nobody better out there, more equipped to through and design a framework that's better for me than myself. The psychologists, the counselors, the GPs, Einstein, if he was alive today, there is nobody more equipped than myself. So you have to take up the sword, or the ultimate power that you have, and say to yourself, yeah, I think Steve is right there, because when I sit down in a chair, I do feel, if I close off from the world, when I do mindfulness, which is a similar kind of technique, you can, if you want to relax first before you go, that's really good as well. Sit down with a cup of tea, some water, anything that's going to stimulate relaxation, and I think that's so important. So if I could just begin to kind of recap and close off, that the similarities that's helped me with my mental fitness is waking up every single day, sitting down in a chair and reflecting upon how I'm feeling. Okay, now I'm using words to you, but your brain will have those thoughts in your head, and your brain it has on its mind. Okay, and then I just think, okay, right, I'll just get my mobile phone up, and sadly my mobile phone was dead this morning, so I'm doing this instead. Okay, so you get your mobile phone, this is my method, alright, and it's the exact thought I have in my mind in that moment, and the piece of wisdom that I want to give to my audience. Now, I'm still self-reflecting, okay, but obviously, I kind of live my life a little bit on social media to help people. Now, if you're doing this at home, obviously I'm not, if you want to put something on social media, it's up to you, but if you want to just sit there and meditate on your thoughts, this is what I'm trying to teach to you, because it will relax your brain. You'll be on a nice, smooth path set up for that day. And when the stress and anxiety does kick in, if you get bad news or situation, your brain will be more in a relaxed state to deal with it. Therefore, on the short and longer term, your stress and anxiety, if it was on a chart, it won't be going like that. It will be like not much of a sharp shift going up. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll close off and say to you, look, the power to learn to reflect upon your thoughts is the first starting block of beginning to increase and improve your mental fitness or mental health. Okay, they're both similar to now. I'm trying to promote the word, use the word mental fitness, and I'm trying to build a wider learning curriculum for many people globally. I'm delaying my course launch because I think that I need to get a little bit more research so I can build something that's, available and it's got a better curriculum, because I'm still learning about mental fitness myself. We're all on different journeys, but this particular tool is taught everywhere. It's in different formats, okay? Even as a former teacher, I used to teach it to my students and even last night when I was giving my friend some advice, I said, look, you need to recognise where you are, and hopefully those words went into him, and I'm sure they did, and it is now up to him to take that responsibility to go away and reflect upon that. And that's all we're really doing. We're reflecting upon memories that have the previous day or the last week. Sometimes it gets a little bit more tricky because we've not spent time with our own thoughts, and we sit down in a chair and it all comes in at once and we start crying. We need to feel that emotion. So there's great power in reflecting upon your thoughts, and that's it, okay? So I just want to encourage you to practice it and see if your mental fitness does improve. You're still going to have to do a lot of work, eating well, sleeping well, all the other basic stuff that's going to make up and increase your mental fitness. And that's it, folks. So I will close off and say thank you for watching this video. I know it's Friday. I just wanted to get this out there because I think it's really important, and it will help save you, because these things are not taught to us on a day-to-day basis, and the more you experience it and reflect upon your thoughts, as it were, you will get to master the skill in your own way. And that's important, that because I'm giving you this, obviously it works for me. I know it's used by psychologists and counsellors. I've researched emotional intelligence and mental health for the last 3 or 4 years now. I've got a pretty good expert knowledge around the subject. I'm lived proof experience. It does work from a very complex condition. So I really encourage you to use this technique to help improve your mental fitness. Thank you for watching, everybody. And if you're watching this on the rerun and it resonates with you, please share it with somebody you feel needs it, and just spread the word, because I help people on a global scale to improve their mental fitness and deliver a learning curriculum that's universal to everybody. Now with children, and I will close off in a moment, with children it's slightly more complex, because sometimes it's about, and it is difficult at times because you've got the mother, the father, and they've both got different techniques they use. In my experiences more as a teacher and some of the trauma that I went through, it's more about just having empathy first for yourself and your child. So that's going to take time, because I think not being a parent, I wouldn't exactly know how you're coping, but I understand that the more empathy we have for our family and ourselves, it is a much better path than being angry. And to reduce your anger, whatever problems you're going through, is learning to reflect upon your thoughts every single day. Okay? So anyway, thank you for watching here. I'm Stephen Fahey, the founder of the Mindset Mentor podcast, but I'm with you live here today. If it's the first time you've seen me, I'm going live every day now because I truly want to help people with their mental fitness. And the podcast is available on Spotify, and I will put a link on the rerun so you can click it. And there's a new episode every single day.